Hey everyone, welcome back to the 9.7 test server, and today I'm going to show you guys a few things that have been added in the second iteration of the test server here. So we're probably going to see 9.7's release within the next couple weeks here, but first off, they've added two more premium tanks, which I'll show you in a second. It'll be the M56 Scorpion, which is a Tier 7 US tank destroyer, and a T-54, and it is a Tier 8 Russian medium, and that's not the first T-54 variant they have in the game here, but first things first, the Moustion, I guess that's how you pronounce it, Moustion? Motion? What is probably going to be the tank that replaces the Tier 9 German Heavy, the VK4502B. Looks like it may or may not have a 15 centimeter gun, the same as you'd see on the E100. However, it cannot fire premium ammunition, it looks like at this point. And they have removed at this point as well the Super Pershing from 9.7, the HD version of the Super Pershing, I should clarify that. And they want to rework some of the armor angles again. And I was saying in the first video about the HD tanks here that they were possibly going to do that. But they also removed the penetration nerfs that everything got and a lot of the other balancing of vehicles. But you can check all that out and get the test client for yourself in the link in the description. It'll be at the same link, so just go ahead and check that out, and you can see what's been changed for yourself. So first off, let's check out this Scorpion. So this tank I very briefly looked at here, and at first glance you can see the turret at least is going to be very thinly armored. It is a Tier 7 tank destroyer, so it well, it better have a good gun to make up for this armor. According to this, it has 1mm armor all the way around. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but I think that if it isn't correct, then it's not going to be a whole lot more than that. But 1mm, that's... your car probably has more than 1mm of armor on it. So we will see about that, and if that's correct or if it gets changed. Both these premium vehicles, I should point out right now, are shown in the in-game store here for 100 gold each. As you can see, I bought them for 100 gold here. That's T-54 and the M56. But I am pretty sure they're not going to be selling Tier 7 and 8 vehicles for 100 gold. So expect that to go up to some much more expensive number. But just to give you the idea of size on this thing, well, there's the T-95. That's the Tier 9 American. And you saw where it was in the tech tree. It's just on its own. It's a premium vehicle. But to put this into perspective, this thing weighs 6.14 tons. Well, the Wolverine, the Tier 5, it weighs significantly more than that, and the ELC here actually weighs just a little bit less than the Scorpion does, and the ELC does have 50 more horsepower, 200 in this compared to 250 in the ELC, which is HD this patch if you didn't know, but it's... I don't know, we'll see how this goes. The gun does seem relatively nice at first glance, 90mm, 7.69 rounds per minute, average damage of 240, average penetration of 219. You can take a look at the ammunition types here. You do have armor piercing, heat rounds, and high explosive rounds, heat rounds being the premium. And, well, we'll see how this vehicle plays out, and we'll see just how scared I have to be of them on the battlefield. We'll have to get used to it, and we'll see if they actually make it into the full release in 9.7 here. But moving on to the other vehicle, because I don't want this to take forever, we have a Russian tech tree. Did you always have to scroll a Russian tech tree? I don't remember. Anyway, here's the T-54 mod 1, the prototype. First prototype. And let's see here. So the T-54 is normally a Tier 9 tank. And I was hoping that it wouldn't be a premium tank in the game, because I'd like to have another option to the T-44 to go through to the T-54 itself, other than the lightweight. But it looks like the 416 is there. I didn't realize the 416 connected to the T-54. Did that get changed? Probably not. But I don't remember that being an option when I got my T-54, which is a while back now. So, but let's check out this T-54. I haven't actually looked at this one myself. So it does have... it looks more like a T-44 than a T-54. Actually, I do have the T-44 here. So that's the T-44, and this is the T-54 prototype. So there's not a whole lot of difference, really, other than the fact that the 54 is an HD and the 44 is not. But the 54 looks like it's going to be missing the one feature of the T-54 I like the most, which is that super round, awesome, bounces almost every shell off of it turret. And the T-54 does not have that, although it does have a decent amount, 180mm of armor, which is more than the T-44 has. So I think that will be a pretty good turret regardless, even though it might not be as good as the T-54s, even though it doesn't have as much armor, doesn't have that bouncy shape as much, but it's still got those cheeks that should be pretty bouncy, and we'll have to see just how much of a weak spot that gun mantlet is. But it looks pretty nice itself. Looking at engine power, it does have less engine power than the 44, and it does weigh a little bit more as well. But as far as armor goes, it does have more in every way, so that's good. And 120 millimeters of hull armor. Let's see how the angle is compared to the 54. It's about the same. So the hull armor in the 54 prototype here is going to be pretty nice too, because it was almost reliable in the 54 at tier 9, but the prototype at tier 8, it should be pretty nice. So we'll see how it goes. I think this will be a pretty good vehicle to have. It might be a little bit more sluggish than T-54, or maybe even more than the T-44, but those are pretty maneuverable, pretty mobile vehicles there on their own. So I think it'll be pretty nice to see. But as far as everything else goes, 100 millimeters, 7.41 rounds per minute, 250 damage, 175 millimeters of penetration, and we'll see how that is. We'll see how the whole vehicle plays out, but I'm very interested to see this one, and this is almost one that I would consider buying myself. We'll see how it plays out, seeing it is a Russian medium, so it's probably going to have terrible gun depression, and it's probably going to get ammo racked a lot and catch on fire quite a bit, and but I think overall it'll be a pretty nice vehicle, and I hope to see it around the battlefield. But thank you everyone for watching. Oh, and one more note, Northwest has been removed from random battle mode, so the map will probably still be in the game itself, but it won't show up in the random battle circulation anymore. So that being said, like I said before, all the list of changes in both the second iteration and the original first iteration on 9.7 test server will be in the video description down below, so feel free to check those out, and I hope to see you for the next one. Bye bye.